slowest, tightest, twistiest rally of the year, but it's also one of the most thrilling. The Cyprus Rally starts now. Far away from the beaches of the vacation town of Limassol, there's a battle taking place that will test the greatest rally drivers in the world to the max. It's the halfway point of the 2003 World Rally Championship, and it comes on the hottest, twistiest gravel event of the season. This is round 7, Rally Cyprus. 2003 is shaping up to be a classic season. There's been 4 winners from the 6th round so far. Sebastian Loeb won in Monte Carlo. World champ Marcus Grönholm won in Sweden, New Zealand, and Argentina. Carlos Sainz took top honors in Turkey. And just 2 weeks ago in Greece, Marco Martin had his debut WRC victory. But it's the Englishman, Richard Burns, who comes to Cyprus leading the championship points race. Richard has scored on every round, giving him a narrow lead over Sainz and Grönholm, while Petter Solberg and Colin McRae need a change in fortune to get into the title race. McRae and the Citroen have scored just 1 point from 3 rallies. For a man who's known as a winner, it's a frustrating situation.
How desperate are you for that first win? Because you really do need it.
Yeah, I need it, but what can I do? Everybody's trying their best. It's just not happening, so I'm sure it will come.
Petter Solberg was fast on the rough stuff in Greece, but his Subaru struggled. He hopes it'll be different here.
Car feels good now, a little bit unlucky now in Greece with the dry shop, but I think everything should be okay now.
Ford's Marco Martin had a great drive in Greece to take his first win. Just 2 weeks later, Martin is focused on victory number 2.
It was good to get the win, but I think life goes on, and this rally came so quickly that there was not much time to think about the past. We had to think about the future immediately.
There's been different strategies utilized by the 2 Peugeot drivers. Richard Burns has been Mr. Consistency, while it's been winner bust for Marcus Grönholm.
What are your thoughts on Richard Burns' approach? He's been consistent, he's leading the championship. In a way, do you feel that under the old point system, you've mentioned it before, you would be leading?
But we are not leading now. Okay, next question.
When are you going to be leading?
After this rally.
Burns might have something to say about that. He's hunting for his first Peugeot win, and he knows this rally very well.
The key to success is going to be the good speed that keeps the car in one piece and a good speed that you can maintain the concentration all the way through the stages.
It's hard times for Hyundai. Retirements for both Freddie Loix and Armin Schwartz on the last 3 events leave them at the bottom of the manufacturer's standings. Things, however, are looking up for Skoda. This is their last rally before the Octavia is retired for the Fabia. Tony Gardemeister and Didier Auriol will want to say goodbye to the old car in style. In the eastern Mediterranean, the island of Cyprus is a reputed birthplace of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. But as Penny Mallory can tell us, there's nothing lovely about the Cyprus Rally.
I'm here in Cyprus, and with me again is Nikki Gress. Temperatures are in the 90s and are set to soar into the hundreds over the weekend. It's absolutely boiling. How are the drivers going to cope? We're just stood here and we're hot enough.
I know, it's going to be very, very difficult on them. They will manage, but because the rally's so slow, very twisty, there's not going to be any airflow through the roof vents, so it's going to be very, very hot in those cars.
They're really going to cook. Is anyone running air conditioning in this rally?
Well, yes. Peugeot, the whole Peugeot team are going to run it, and that's definitely going to put them at an advantage, especially on the longer stages.
Now tell me about the stages. What are they like?
They really are quite rough, and all the drivers are complaining. It's much worse than Greece. very deep ruts and a lot of loose, big square rocks. So we've got to expect the unexpected here.
So with Safari missing from the championship, that makes this the roughest rally of the year?
Without a doubt. It really is going to be very difficult.
So lots of punches, probably.
I think so.
Richard Burns is running first on the road as championship leader. He's got to sweep those roads clean for everyone else. Is that going to lose him a lot of time?
Not as much as it was in Greece. I mean, there was a lot more smoother roads. Here, because it's so rutted, he can just hang the car in those ruts and he can get the grip that he needs. But I think it's going to be probably somebody behind who probably would benefit slightly from those few cleaner patches.
So from what you're saying, it's a question of what cars will last over the rough stuff, what drivers will last through this intense heat.
Absolutely.
So who's going to win?
My money's on Carlos Sainz. I think he's going to be keeping it nice and clean and tidy, and he's just going to be plugging away, no problems, and probably on Sunday you'll see him coming through.
Well, I think it's going to be one of the smaller, nimble cars that have proven their worth on the rough stuff, either Peugeot or Ford. I've got this really weird feeling that Richard Burns is going to take his first win of the year.
Well, I hope so. It's been a long time coming, but I've got a feeling he's not going to do it here.
And if he doesn't, I think he's going to be Marco Martin.
All right, okay, well, there you go. You're not confident, are you, really?
Well, actually, I'm not. Now, listen, like I say, we are absolutely roasting here, so me and Nicky need a dip in there. We'll see you later.
It will be hot indeed, and with drivers forced to tiptoe through an unrelenting succession of corners, speeds will be down, car temperatures up. Here's Nicky again.
Day one has a total of 4 stages, made up of 2 run in the morning and then repeated in the afternoon. This first test is one of the fastest of the rally and has been used many times in the past. After the Cruise pre-rally recce, they report this opener as the smoothest of the whole event. Although this stage does not have any hidden dangers, it will be a taster of what this rally and the Troodos Mountains has in store for the Cruise.
For the 4th rally in a row, Richard Burns is the first car out and has the unfavorable job of sweeping the road. The view ahead shows a stone-covered stage. Of course, Richard's going to be careful to avoid danger, but as he sweeps the racing line, it's bad news for him, good news for the cars behind him.
50, meet your right.
Carlos Sainz should have been the first to benefit, but he's unable to. There's trouble with either his suspension or the transmission, and it's costing him time. Carlos is a second slower than Richard. With his 2 main rivals in trouble, it's a good opportunity for Marcus Grönholm to cash in. He does, fastest so far.
3 right, narrow.
After his stunning performance in Greece, Marco Martin and the Ford are favorites here. However, he's off the pace. He's slower than Burns and Grönholm, and the Estonian has a big task ahead. Only 4 cars through the stage so far, but nobody's really been able to take advantage of the conditions just yet. Stay with us, things are warming up. Welcome back now to the action on stage 1 in Cyprus. Petter Solberg's taking advantage of the swept road ahead of him. He sticks to the clean line with millimeter perfect accuracy. Let's take a minute now to ride along and listen in to Petter and co-driver Phil Mills.
50. 4 left of long tightens. 6 right. Into short 4 left tightens. 30. Don't cut short. Hairpin right tightens. Stay in lines. And line into 5 left minus. Half long tightens. Tightens minus. 60. 6 right plus. Keep in 30. Slow line into turn. 4 left tightens short. 2 at gap. Early 6 right plus, 20, line into half 2, left tightens, early 6 right plus, 60, 6 left plus long over crest, keep in, 30, don't cut short, hairpin right tightens, and line into 2 left minus tightens, 1 plus, don't cut short, 6 right plus, and 4 left minus long at gap, into short 5 right, extra long, opens 20, 6 right, extra long of a crest, 1 left half long, don't cut,
As he approaches the line, the clock shows just how much the road sweeping is costing the front runners and helping out better.
Into 4 right.
7 seconds faster. Solberg takes the early lead for now. Rough rallies are where Colin McRae usually shines, but it's a slow start today. He's 4th fastest.
And right. And 6 left tightens and right tightens to slow 3, don't cut.
This is McRae's old rival, Tommy Mäkinen. The Finn has a trouble-free run, but can't match the pace of his teammate. He's down in 8th. In the 3rd Peugeot, Harry Rovanperä is flying. The road sweeping effect is really working its magic. Rovanperä is taking full advantage, putting Solberg's lead under threat.
Oikein nopea. Hypyn yli vasenkoon vähän sisältä aukeaa.
Almost 6 seconds faster. Rovanperä is the new leader. Although he's considered an asphalt expert, Gilles Panizzi has been going very well on rough surfaces. He shows the gravel experts a thing or two. He's 5th overall. Now, the biggest surprise on the opening stage comes from Didier Auriol. He guides his huge Skoda Octavia safely through to set 3rd fastest time. At the end of the first stage, it's Harry Rovanperä who goes into an early lead from Solberg, Auriol, McRae, and Panizzi, but the championship front runners are all in the bottom half of the leaderboard. Grenholm is the best of them in 9th, while Sainz suffers most, 16 seconds off the pace. The championship leaders risk turning up the heat and making a run for the front, or are these guys just biding their time? Stage 2 from Cyprus when we return. Stage 2 in Cyprus is the longest of the rally, and Nicky Grist has more on the very rough surface that lies ahead.
This is not just the longest, but it's also the roughest and most demanding stage of the rally. 90% of the stage is made up of narrow and very twisty roads. The first 15 kilometers has heavily rutted corners, with sharp stones jutting out of the surface. Expect tyre wear and punctures in here. After this short stretch of tarmac, the last 21 kilometers has a very loose and sandy surface. Here there are a mass of loose square-edge rocks, both at the sides and in the base.
Richard Burns figures his road sweeping role is costing him a second every mile and a half. That's going to make the task of holding on to the championship lead a difficult one.
Medium right, 20, 90 right, long, to flat left 70, flat left 50, flat right braking 20, fast left plus 30, K left to 90 left.
It's a frustrated Carlos Sainz who enters the longest stage of the rally. He knows his handling problems are about to cost him a lot of time. He's over a minute and 20 seconds off the pace, and victory now seems a distant dream.
Para la derecha Carras se abre, para la izquierda acá corta en cuarta, se cierra, para la derecha rápida menos para 1, izquierda acá se cierra y se abre.
Marcus Grenholm is next to tackle the hundreds of turns on Lagardère. The FIA is talking about inducing a forced in-car temperature of 95 degrees. Here in Cyprus, it can get between 120 and 130 degrees inside the cockpit. Peugeot has been testing over the last 2 weeks an onboard air conditioning system. If the FIA does do this next year or the year after, Peugeot could have a big advantage over some of its rivals. Once again, Grenholm's fastest so far, and he's moving up the leaderboard. But so is Ford's Marco Martin. The Estonian guides his focus around the twisty stage and moves up to 6th. Gunnar Solberg's pretty lucky. Just a few hundred feet from the end of the stage, his Subaru develops transmission problems. He makes it to the end, but he's now slipped down to 4th overall. Normally, Colin McRae is one of the most exciting drivers to watch, but so far this weekend, he's been fighting the car.
And left, and 3 right, minus cut. And left, tight to 4 minus.
Colin's been giving it everything he's got, but he's completely frustrated. Although he's trying hard to keep the car on the line, time is slipping away. He slips to 9th, which is good news for Tommy Mäkinen. Maybe he didn't impress on the last stage, but through Lagardère, it's a different story. Tommy's blisteringly fast. So too is Harry Rovanperä, still enjoying better road conditions than his teammates in front. He's on for another quick time.
3. Ja huomio, pitkällä nopea miinus sumppuun 3. Nypyn yli oikea koo sisältä aukeaa.
Almost 8 seconds faster than Grönholm, Harry stretches his lead. But it's a new man on his tail, Gilles Panizzi, 3rd fastest on the stage and up to 2nd overall. But there's trouble for Ford's Francois Deval. His focus is stuck in 4th gear. He tries to switch to the manual system, but it's a very difficult thing to do on a bumpy road like this, so eventually he's forced to stop. The change takes 17 agonizing seconds, which is a lifetime in the WRC. Once the manual system is engaged, it's back to business. It's not a happy atmosphere in Tony Gardemeister's Skoda either. The Octavia has lost fuel pressure.
Oikea Koopus kirraa. Jatkuu pitkä vasen täysusko 8.
If he's going to make it to service, he's going to need to do some on-the-road repair work. On the road section, he takes 25 minutes to make emergency repairs. As an exercise in damage limitation, all Gardemeister needs to do is to get the Skoda back to service. The mechanics can go to work on the car. He gets back on the road, but the Finn is down in 14th place. The 2nd stage, not kind to a few crews.
Let's have a closer look at Duval's problem. To this point, him and Martin were neck and neck. Now he's stuck in 4th gear. He's trying to change over to the manual system, but the roads are so slow and bumpy, he has no option. He cannot change it over. He has to stop. Now, at this point, him and the co-driver are desperately trying to change it. Now, finally, having located it, he's changed down to 1st, drops the clutch into 2nd, and he's away. But just look how much distance Martin has taken out of him.
Out of trouble and in the lead, Rovanperä is 14 seconds ahead of Gilles Panizzi. Tommy Mäkinen's up to 3rd, and Didier Earl couldn't keep up his pace. He's dropped to 7th.
Richard, running first on the road today is not the place to be.
No, not really, but well, there's not a lot we can do about it. We're leading the championship, and that's the present you get.
Have you benefited from the cleaning road ahead?
Yes, of course there is clean lines, but there's also big rocks and anyway a lot of loose because I have also a lot of wheel spin.
Well, for the king of asphalt, that's a very, very good start on the gravel this morning.
I am happy. I'm learning better. The feeling is good now, and so the rally is not my favorite because the rhythm is too slow. But it's okay. It's okay inside the car. I think I have good sensation, good feeling to stay on the line.
Colin, this rally seems to be all about rhythm. You don't seem to have found yours yet.
Never had any rhythm. Have you seen me on the dance floor?
I have, unfortunately. How are you going to find the rhythm in this rally and push up the stage times and do better?
we just have to work a bit with the car. It didn't feel 100%, so some changes to make there, and just try and find the technique more than anything. It's so difficult. It almost feels like you're going backwards.
Maybe Colin needs to talk to Petter Solberg, the former disco dancing teacher. Stay with us, plenty more action coming your way from the Rally of Cyprus. Welcome back to the Cyprus Rally. As in Acropolis 2 weeks ago, Peugeot is utilizing its air conditioning system, but Marcus Grönholm is not. You see, it saps the engine of a few horsepower, and Marcus wants every bit his 206 can muster. It looks like Marco Martin might be the only Ford driver with any good luck. He's fourth fastest on the day's third stage. Just behind Martin in fifth is Colin McRae.
And 3 left tightens.
This morning, Tommy Mäkinen fought hard to claw his way up to third, but his Subaru has developed a throttle problem. Falling to fourth place, you can bet Tommy will be a little nervous about what the day's last stage has in store.
Ja Kovasen yli maaliin. No ei huonosti Rikun kanssa main.
We have some problem with our car. There's no anti-lock at all, and engine doesn't respond at all. Something wrong. This was not so bad. Maybe next one is much worse.
No worries in the cockpit of Harry Rovanpera's 206, even though he switched to his spare gearbox in that last service.
Pidä pitkä oikein nopea plus sisältä. 7. Hae pitkä vasen nopea plus sisältä.
Gunning for Grönholm's time, Harry approaches the flying finish.
Oikein nopea. Hypyn yli vasen K, vähän sisältä aukee.
3 out of 3 fastest stage times. Harry's looking strong. 16 seconds is a good lead for Rovanpera, and he'll be hoping he can extend it in the next stage. But keep an eye on Grönholm. He's crept to third and is stalking Panizzi. More from Cyprus coming up.
All dead.
Championship leader Richard Burns has had a really tough opening day here in Cyprus, trailblazing for his rivals. Already using his spare gearbox and down in 10th place, Richard needs some good luck here in the last stage of the day to get back into the fight.
Opens, you're going to have to put something in the manual lock.
But luck isn't on Richard's side.
Do it quickly. Do it quickly. Do all the things you need to do. I'll just drive.
Okay.
I can't change.
Yeah.
I've still got throttle. Still got full
flat right to flat right. 30 metres my minus 10.
In fact, everything is switched to manual, and it's a torturous ride to the end for the Englishman.
No hydraulic pressure. No gear change. No diffs. And no throttle. Yeah.
Of course, with Burns having problems, it's nervous time for Marcus. What goes wrong in one Peugeot could easily go wrong in the other one. The world champ makes it through without incident and heads back to the safety of service. The hydraulic problem that slowed up the Focus in New Zealand is again back. Like his teammate Duval earlier, Marco Martin needs to switch to the manual gear system.
26. Right. Try and find the right place for me.
You can see Michael Park trying to get the job done while on the fly. Dragging the Ford through the remainder of the 25 miles is pretty tough work. Meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb is on a charge.
plus. Soit 60 plus, sur droite, stop 36. Ferme 90.
Despite this spin, he still ends the day the best of the Citroens in 5th.
Droite 136, ferme 90. Négoce.
Pitkä paha oikein reikä sisällä.
On board now with Tommy Mäkinen, who's tied with his teammate for 4th overall.
On pitkä vasen nopea miinus. Ja pitkä paha oikein kivi ihan sisällä. Ja pitkä vasen nopea plus auke.
But that impact means trouble for Tommy Subaru. The Finn can't blame anyone but himself after hitting a rock, splitting his wheel.
Vasen eri. Ja koi. Otetaan tähän vaikka ylös. We have to stop on the stage and see what's wrong. Okay.
Tommy and Kai changed the wheel, but the power steering's failed as well.
Tommy, we hear you've had problems. Can you tell us what it was?
Yeah. I have a broken steering.
Did you fix it in the stage?
We changed the tire and we just, we had to stop the work.
With all the problems in front of him, Harry Rovanperä must be just holding his breath that he's going to make it to the end of the day with his lead intact.
Lopussa vasen K. Lyhyt oikein nopea 5. Pitkä vasen nopea.
Unfortunately, another Peugeot, another gearbox problem. And Harry seems to be jinxed. He can only select 2nd and 3rd gears and it's costing precious time. The rally lead evaporating before his eyes.
Sanoinko mä tässä sen gearbox?
Harry, you seem very frustrated. What's the problem?
Gearbox. Sometimes working, sometimes no. Sometimes it's 3rd gear stay long way and servos and slow corners and.
Marcus, leader at the end of day 1. You seem to have had a relatively trouble-free run today.
Yeah, no big problems, and just we have something now in the car in the rear suspension. I don't know. It was noisy in the end of the stage, and car was a little bit funny. We lost some seconds maybe, but not a big problem.
Solberg and Mills have made a very, very strong start to this rally.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, I like this position we are in now, so it looking good for the 2 next days.
Harry, you won 3 stages today. You really should be leading this rally.
Yes, but in the last one we have a gearbox problem. Sometimes I not can change the gear. Sometimes I stay with 3rd gear, sometimes 2nd gear, and long way, many kilometers. And when it's big hole or something, after that is gearbox working again some kilometers, and again coming some problem. And
You always seem to have quite a lot of bad luck when you're doing well.
That is absolutely true. Yes.
Harry will be hoping for better luck tomorrow, and his mechanics will be hoping frantic repairs at the day's final service will help him to regain the lead. It'll be a sleepless night for the Peugeot team. After all the problems, a complete reshuffle at the top, Marcus Grönholm leads over Rovanperä and Solberg. Panizzi slips to 4th. Problems today mean Carlos Sainz, Francois Deval, and Didier Auriol are among the big names who have a hard fight ahead in the scramble for points. With more from service, here's Nicky.
Ralph, it's been 110 degrees in the service area today. Just imagine how hot it's been in these rally cars. But looking at Marcus Grönholm at the in control, he really is looking cool. And that last special stage was exceptionally good and took the lead. It was really, really rough in there. Petter Solberg said he has never driven on anything as rough as that. There's some really tough stages tomorrow. The temperatures are going to be just as hot, if not hotter. I think that it's going to be a real problem for a lot of the teams. Peugeot, with their other 2 cars, are in trouble at this point, changing masses of transmission and everything else. It's not over for Marcus Grönholm. It's not over for everybody else. Tomorrow is another day.
Rally Cyprus is easily the hottest round we've had so far in the 2003 World Rally Championship. Under a burning Mediterranean sun, it's been hot, very hot. So you can't fault the driver if thoughts wander from time to time to the nearby seaside resorts. Rocks make Cyprus a rally of attrition, but when the sun's shining, the heat can be deadly, not only to the drivers, but to the cars as well.
In Cyprus, the winning average speed is just under 40 miles an hour, which gives you some idea how slow and how twisty the roads are actually here. The cooling is absolutely vital to the engine. The cooler the engine, the more efficient it becomes and the more power they get. But the heat buildup is tremendous. I'm here at Hyundai, which uses more or less a standard system. They are allowed 390 square inches of space for the radiator cooling. And then in the bonnet, they're allowed just under 170 square inches of opening to get the heat out through the bonnet. Let's have a look at another car with all the bumpers off. As you can see on this car, with the extra cowling at the front, every single bit of air that comes through the front of the car is forced through the radiator. The air then passes through the rad into the engine compartment, mixing it with all the heat of the engine, which then either escapes through the holes in the bonnet or through the back of the sump guard. Now that is this car, but the Subaru and the Ford are quite different. Let's go and have a look. We're here at Subaru, and as you can see, things are quite different. We've got the intercooler mounted on the top, but now the radiator is mounted low down in the ducting, set well back at an angle. As you can see, this extra cowling takes the hot air out from the radiator, forces it straight up and out through the hole on the bonnet. Now, this particular car was designed by Christian Loriot, who's now at Ford. Let's go and have a look what he's done there. Now, this is the latest of all cooling systems of any car. If you have a look here, the cowling, again, forces the air into the radiators, but we've got a total separation here. You've got a separate inlet for the radiator at the bottom, and the one on the top feeds the intercooler, which helps keep the air temperature down. Now, if I lift the bonnet, as you can see, we've got both radiator fans sat right on the top of the rads, again, extracting the hot air and getting it out of the way. Now, if you have a look up at the bonnet, you've got some extra cowlings which fit tightly over these fans, again, extracting every bit of airflow straight out the bonnet and out into the open air, keeping everything nice and cool.
The cars have had an overnight service, but there's no sign of the heat or the rally leaders letting up. The second leg of the Rally Cyprus up next. Yesterday was an introduction to the rough Cypriot roads. Today, the really hard work begins. 8 tortuously twisty stages wind their way through the mountains and back down to the service park in the vacation town of Limassol. It's only 7:30 in the morning, and already the temperature is climbing above 86 degrees, and the drivers are forced to wear 3-layer suits according to the rules. Here's Nikki and Penny.
Day 2 is the longest day of the Rally of Cyprus. There's 160 kilometres of special stages. 115 of those have never been driven on by these crews before. It's all new to them. But there's 45 kilometres of particularly rough stuff as well, especially stages 11 and 12, the last 2 of the day. There's a variety of road surfaces ranging from riverbeds to fast forest roads to little goat tracks. Now, because some of the stages have never been used before, they need a lot of sweeping clean, and those are going to play into the hands of people like Tommy Mackinnon, who's running 17th on the road. He should benefit from a nice clean road that far back. Now, the atmosphere at Peugeot is interesting as well. Both Harry Rovanpera and Richard Burns have got new gearboxes today. It's their second gearboxes. They're only allowed 2 on an event, so they're hoping they're going to stay in one piece. And also, Marcus Gronholm was reported to have heard a sound from the back of his car that unnerved him, and he's hoping that's not going to be a problem for him today.
We ended day 1 with the roughest stage in the World Championship. This morning we start with the slowest. It's virtually second and third gear for all the stage with hardly any straights. It's non-relenting. The corners are very tight and deeply rutted with a lot of heavy sand and dust. It's going to be very difficult on the drivers, and I can almost guarantee they'll be glad to see the finish line, where for sure they'll have a sweat on.
At just 9 miles long, Stage 5 is one of the shortest of the rally, but it's easy to see why it needs to be approached with caution. Armin Schwartz is one of the first to sample Cordali. So far, the German drivers had no problems, and if he can make it to the end of the rally, he can score some much-needed points.
Right for Schwartz. 50 over kick, double point.
Francois Deval is about to discover that rocks aren't the only hazard here. The roads are so rough, the front spoiler is digging into the stage and throwing dust up into the air filter. It's then sucked into the combustion chamber and damages the pistons, causing Deval's oil pressure to drop. All the power is gone, his focus grinds to a halt. It's a problem Ford is familiar with. Marco Mart retired in Argentina with exactly the same problem.
'22 plus right hail.
And lightning strikes twice for the Estonian.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we had in Argentina.
2 right hail.
Because we have no oil pressure.
And 4 left.
It's a problem that even after redesigning the intake system, the new Focus still can't handle the dust.
We thought we fixed it, but this stage was quite extreme again, so unfortunately it happened again, so we have to make sure it doesn't happen again, but luckily I think the rest of this rallies this year should be okay for us, no problem.
All 3 Citroens are still in the running, but none of them are challenging for the lead. Colin McRae just can't find the speed to match the front runners, and he has no idea why. He's running 6th overall. With Carlos Sainz down in 8th, the best of the Zaras belongs to Sebastian Loeb. He's 5th.
Pour droite, comme dit sur gauche, frein pour droite, compte épingle. Gauche, frein pour droite.
Gilles Panizzi still looking for a works drive, and that might explain his recent stunning form on gravel. If he carries on like this, podium place is a real possibility. First, he'll have to catch Petter Solberg, and that's not going to be easy. His Subaru Impreza has proven to be sturdy and fast, and he's hot on the heels of the 2 Peugeots in front of him.
20.
First, he snatches second away from Harry Rovanperä. The next target, Marcus Grönholm. Yesterday, he had minor problems with the mounting of his rear transmission. The retaining bolts were coming loose. This morning, when he started the stage, those bolts snapped and the transmission starting to move around.
Nyt loppu Kardanin veto. Mitä mä teen? Blokkaaks mä keskiluun? Joo. FX for Timo. We had the same problem than yesterday already from the start line. Now we have done 9 kilometers and now we have no more drops up.
The car, of course, is designed to run in 4-wheel drive, but now it's only running with 2 and not very well. And it's losing lots of traction and time. The clock on the right tells the story.
7. Maali.
Nearly a minute down, he slips to 4th, and the rally has a new leader.
Marcus, you're shaking your head. What's the problem?
The prop shaft gone. In the start, when I left the clutch, bang, we have only front wheel drive.
What's your plan now then?
I don't know. Maybe stop.
Once again, it's all changed at the top. Petter Solberg will be delighted to be in front, but Harry Rovanperä is bound to put the pressure on. There's still 1 Ford left in the rally. Mikko Hirvonen is 9th, and right at the bottom of the pack, Tommi Mäkinen.
Courtesy of Virtual Spectator, we can show you the difficulties facing Grönholm. Here the Finn has only front-wheel drive on a slippery gravel surface, but his teammate Burns has maximum traction through all 4 wheels. Burns' telemetry shows us how slow this stage is. He's only using 2nd and 3rd gears. When we ride on board with Burns, just look at the extra traction he has as he rockets past his teammate out of this slow corner. While the Peugeots are locked in their own battle, it is Petter Solberg who is really on a mission. He's way ahead at only the halfway point and finishes the stage the rally leader.
Grönholm's not giving up just yet, but the view under the car doesn't look too promising. The drive shaft is sheared in two. After some quick repair work, he heads off, hoping to make it through the next grueling test and back to service. Welcome back to the Rally Cyprus, which is quickly shaping up to be a case of survival of the fittest. Coming off of retirements in the last two rallies in Argentina and Greece, Sebastian Loeb has taken a cautious approach to the rally so far, and it looks to be paying off. 5 stages down, and the Frenchman sits at 5th overall.
Et gauche au frein pour droite 80 plus. Gauche frein pour droite 80 plus et gauche 80 plus. Gauche 80 plus et attention. Droite ferme 60.
In Cyprus, the service park is larger here than anywhere else. So large that they've factored in an extra 2 minutes to make sure that the teams can get back out on time. Freddie Loix, too, would dearly love to bring home a good result for his troubled Hyundai team. But it doesn't look like Freddie will get the chance here in Cyprus. He survived 5 really rough stages, but an engine problem adds a Belgian's name to the list of retirements. So Hyundai's woes continues. Gilles Panizzi's been pretty strong so far, but in the end it appears the car is what will let him down. Out of sight of our cameras, Gilles retires.
Gilles, 4th place overnight and up to 3rd this morning, looking good for a podium, but wasn't to be.
I don't know exactly why, but maybe the engine stopped at this moment. The temperature, water and oil is too up. And
in the background is Marcus Grönholm. In the foreground is the reason why he lost the lead, the broken prop shaft. And he can't survive for long without it. Running in two-wheel drive, the transmission has had enough.
Now we have no more. The hydraulic level is low, and I think the car. We have stopped at 2.7, and we cannot continue. So goodbye.
2 Peugeots out on one stage, and still the boss is smiling.
It's time for my second cigar.
Once again, it was not my fault, so it was the 3rd time now when a technical problem, so I don't know why. It's always something.
Disappointed?
Yes.
8 kilometers into stage 5, Marcus Grönholm had a serious failure. That failure was caused by this. This is his prop shaft that transfers power from the gearbox to the rear differential. This connects into the rear differential. As you can see, it's sheared and it's been bouncing on the ground. At that point, the car would have gone to front-wheel drive. He would have had to have locked the center differential to get drive. He continues through that stage, losing a lot of time in the process, but at the start of the next special stage, that center differential cries enough. It's now no-wheel drive and out of the rally.
Tommi Mäkinen's chances of moving up from the bottom of the leaderboard are thwarted again by a badly damaged wheel. Stopping in the stage to change it, Tommy discovers the wheel will not come off unless he dismantles the suspension. It takes 25 minutes to rebuild the car. On to stage 7, and emergency repairs on Richard Burns' gearbox haven't solved his problems. On the morning's first stage, the automatic shift failed again, so he went back into manual mode. Now, here on stage 7, his engine is getting dangerously hot.
30, medium right plus.
On board now with Tommy, who after his earlier wheel problems has fallen 37 minutes behind. Still though, Mäkinen is fast enough to win the stage.
Pitkä vasen nopea plus. Jatkuu pirun pitkä vasen nopea.
Tommy still hasn't named his newborn son. It's a Finnish tradition to wait 2 months. Currently, they're calling him Mäkinen Jr. Big brother Henry, however, calls him Mikko.
Lyhyt K vasen plus sumppuun, heti pitkä K oikein miinus. Kirraa, pitkä nopea risteys ja kirraa pahasti ja kapenee. Ja pitkä vasen nopea plus. Ja lyhyt oikein nopea plus. Ja vasen heti pitkä paha oikein, älä oikaise vähän helppo. 3. Pitkä vasen nopea miinus. Jatkuu pitkä K vasen. Ja tosi pitkä oikein nopea plus tarkasti.
Petter Solberg loves a good battle. Harry Rovanperä might be right on his tail, but all's cool and calm in the Subaru.
Into tight hairpin right. Into 1 left goes half long. Into 3 right plus keep in. Into 1 left tight.
But it's scorching inside of Rovanperä's car. The 206 has been running very hot all morning. Harry just can't keep up with Petter, whose lead is extended.
Oikein K-rytky. Vasen K5, pitkä oikein hidas. Pitkä oikein hidas. 4.
After a morning of carnage, this is how things stand with the survivors. Solberg and Rovanperä are locked in their own battle up front. A minute and a half behind them are the 3 Citroens. Back at service in Limassol, the Peugeot team are doing all they can to sort out their overheating problems.
Ryder, there seems to be somewhat of a technical crisis for Peugeot on this rally. Why all the problems?
It's a very specific rally because of the high temperature and very low average speed in the stages, so engines are suffering. What we are a little bit concerned about is water temperature. So we work in order to cool the engine a little bit down for the next stages. And everything is linked to this high temperature.
Meanwhile, it's a much happier atmosphere in the Subaru camp.
Petter, Marcus Gronholm's bad luck is your good luck. You're leading the rally now.
Yeah, I do that, and could have been good to have Marcus there. Would have been nice to have a good fight with him, because this rally, I think I'm good at taking him, so yeah.
You think you can continue on this pace and win?
Yeah, you know, I don't have I haven't used my proper pace yet, you know. It's this rally have to be calmed down a little bit, so if it's close tomorrow, I will go for it, no problem.
Stay with us. There's 5 more action-packed stages right around the corner, including some great battles and maybe even a retirement or 2. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
How long does it take to wash and...
Didier Auriol won't make it to the end of the Rally of Cyprus. Out of sight of our cameras, alternator problems, and it is rally. On board now with his Skoda teammate, Tony Gardemeister.
Nytkyt kappee 3. Vasen K heittää. Siis heti. Pitkä oikein K2. Pyörää vasen. Vittu nyt.
This Skoda Octavia knocked out due to a tree stump.
Oho, se jää jumiin. No tässä se on.
It's not all over for Ford. Their chances now rest on the very young shoulders of Mikko Hirvonen. He's in 7th, and if his Focus survives, he could score some points. On stage 6, Carlos Sainz had Richard Burns breathing down his neck. But the Englishman's charge wouldn't last. His car's now so hot it automatically switches into safe mode.
Braking long.
That means a dramatic loss of power.
30, 4 right tightens, keep in into 1 left minus slip 8.
There's no lack of power in this car. The Subaru's on fire, and so's the man behind the wheel, Petter Solberg.
Into 6 left, and line into unseen, hairpin right, double tightens a gap. Into 1 left minus. Opens, slow, tight hairpin right.
Fresh from service and determined to catch Solberg, Harry Rovanperä is charging. Harry's put his earlier problems out of his mind, and twice he's faster than his rival, forcing Solberg to look over his shoulder. That's because the gap between the two drivers is now reduced to just 5 seconds. Burns is still in the points, but he needs to fix his dangerously hot engine.
It's not going to stay on there because it's just a piece. I can't.
But at the roadside, there's a strong smell of coolant.
I don't think tape is going to do anything.
That, of course, suggests he has a leak, which is the last thing he needs as he heads to the next stage. That's because the next stage is the roughest in the entire event. Even though Burns has replenished his coolant, the engine's taken a beating. He makes it through the stage, but he's only 12th fastest.
Stone, 30, flat left to flat right, 60, fast right plus cut. Sorry, fast right plus long, 50 braking, slow medium left.
This is the first Cyprus outing for the Citroens, and their strength is pretty impressive. Colin McRae pushing hard. But it gets caught out by a rock that had been thrown into his path by an earlier car, and the suspension's badly bent. Fortunately, it was near the end of the stage, and it doesn't cost him too much time. Still the best of the Citroens, and up in 3rd, Sebastian Loeb.
Gauche droiti, sur gauche 130 bords. Gauche 30 bords, 80 mètres, droite 132 moins. Droite 130.80 mètres, gauche 130 plus.
Petter seems to be relishing the rough stuff, and his co-driver Phil Mills talks us through the stage.
6 left half long.
Yeah, and as you can see, this is probably the fastest part of the whole event, where it follows a river. The river's on the right-hand side, and this is the road that runs up alongside it. It's just all 6 gear, virtually the whole way, and a few really tight, unseen corners just at the end. And then where you turn left and over the river and back to the road, which goes down the other side of the valley. Just incredibly fast. Lots of rocks around the place. If you go wide just by 1 meter, you just take the wheel off. A very, very tricky place indeed. But the only thing you can compare it to is Safari.
60.
Now we go on board with Harry Rovanperä's Peugeot.
Oikein koo pidä. Vasen täys 5. Vähän vasen oikein helppo 100.
Harry is slower, but he just might be saving the car. Could just be a strategy move. Petter extends his lead to 14 seconds despite his big collision with a rock. Colin McRae holds on to 4th as he heads for service. Richard Burns won't make it there, though. His cooling problems have proved terminal, and for the first time this season, the Peugeot driver gets a DNF.
Colin, you're still in 4th position overall. About to have a look under the bonnet. What was the problem on that last stage?
Just caught a rock. I don't know where it came from. I didn't even see it, but it broke the rear suspension and almost put us, well, it did put us off the road, but we managed to get back on again.
got Harry Rovanperä behind you, just 14.3 seconds. He's really on a charge today. Can you hold him back?
Well, it's sort of give and take all day from what we can see. He takes 5 off us, so we go and take 10 off him, and so on. And that seems to how it's been going so far today, and I'm sure it'll be continue like that for the rest of the afternoon.
The Citroen mechanics have just 20 minutes to fix McRae's shattered suspension, and they use just about every second. But the Scots back out with just a few seconds to spare. Day 2 in Cyprus is one that won't be forgotten soon. 9 WRC cars retired and only 7 remain. Unfortunately, Tommi Mäkinen took too long for wheel repairs, exceeding the time allowed in the regulations to finish the stage. Therefore, Tommy's excluded from the event. Surprisingly, though, Armin Schwartz's Hyundai remains in the rally. He's 7th. In front of him is the last of the remaining Ford Focuses, although it's last year's model belonging to Mikko Hirvonen.
3, vaan se hidas suppuun. 4.
Citroen are the only team who still have all their cars in the rally. It's speed, not reliability, that's been the problem for Sainz, McRae, and Lowe. The field has been thin, but there's still a great battle going on. Rovanperä determined there'll be a Peugeot on top of the podium this time tomorrow. Petter Solberg's not about to roll over on the last stage of the day. He takes a huge chunk out of Harry and opens up a 25-second lead.
Petter, can you win your second World Rally Championship event tomorrow?
I really hope so. I'm trying to, and it's been a very hard and good day actually. So let's hope we can make a victory for Subaru and Pirelli here.
Harry, 82 kilometers tomorrow. Can you catch Petter Solberg and win this rally yourself?
If we found some special stage for me tomorrow, because he have that last one, both time is very good time, and we not can come faster. That is very clear, but okay, tomorrow is no any safari stages.
Here's how they stand going into the final day. Solberg and Rovanperä in a class of their own, nearly 3 minutes ahead of the chasing pack. Here's Nicky.
Well, Ralph, I'm here at the final service point in Subaru waiting for Petter Solberg, and it really has been an up and down day for the team. There's been 9 factory retirements today. We've never had such a tough day in world rallying in memory. And poor old Tommi Mäkinen behind me was one of those retirements. But on the other hand, Petter Solberg has been steaming today. He's really on fire, and he's led from the first stage to the last. But I have to say, I've been in the same position myself, going into the last day with a lead, and it all went wrong for us. But I have a feeling Petter's so confident, he's driving so well, he's going to pull it off. I hope to bring you that good news tomorrow. Back to you, Ralph.
All right, Nicky, thanks. Petter Solberg got his first win last year in Great Britain. Harry Rovanperä got his first win in Sweden 2001. Maybe one of them will get a win tomorrow.
How long does it take to wash and wax your car? Minutes with new Turtle Wax Jet Wash and Jet Wax. Jet Wash jets off dirt and grime in no time. Jet Wax leaves a Turtle Wax shine in minutes. New Turtle Wax Jet Wash and Jet Wax. Clean and shiny, fast and easy.
Jump for joy with new Odor Eaters Plus. Odor Eaters Plus is the only insole with podiatric arch support plus protection on demand against odor and wetness. Jump for joy, new Odor Eaters Plus.
This is the Cyprus Rally.
As we head into day 3 of the Rally Cyprus, the crews expect nothing but the worst. In one single day, Rally Cyprus has earned itself a nasty reputation. Day 2 saw lots of carnage, knocking an unbelievable number of the WRC factory cars out of the event. First to go was Francois Deval. his Ford Focus was suffocated by the dust. A few minutes later, exactly the same thing happened to his teammate, Marco Martin.
It's the same thing. It's because of the tough, long times to fall.
Freddie Loix was the next victim with an engine failure in his Hyundai. Then it was a Peugeot of Gilles Panizzi. An engine failure left him stranded as well. We said goodbye to Tommy Mäkinen after a rock wrecked his wheel. He tried to repair it, but he ran out of time. The Finn forced to withdraw. Marcus Grönholm looked to be headed for victory when his prop shaft was sheared in two. Marcus tried to go on without it, but the car eventually said no more.
We cannot go any more forward. We have stopped at 2.8. So, goodbye.
Driver error brought an end to Tony Gardemeister's campaign. And a broken alternator meant Didier Auriol soon joined his Skoda teammate on the sidelines. The ninth and final victim was championship leader Richard Burns. His 206 overheated and Richard couldn't make it back to service. Still in the hunt though today are all three Citroens. Carlos Sainz is in fifth. Colin McRae is running in fourth. And on target for a podium position is Sebastian Loeb. But the biggest fight is for victory. In the one remaining Peugeot, Harry Rovanperä is chasing down Petter Solberg. But Harry has a huge fight on his hands because Petter really wants his second victory. And the Subaru has a healthy 25-second lead over Rovanperä's Peugeot. All today's action takes place in the Troodos Mountains. There's 6 rough stages in store, and as Penny Mallory tells us, no one can feel safe.
So the third and final day of the Rally of Cyprus. It's such a tough event that only 18 cars will start this morning, and there's even a privateer in the top 8. It's that tough. So 6 final stages, 3 of them repeated twice. The first stage starts twisty and gets faster and is very bumpy. The second stage is narrow but fast. It's where Colin McRae and Marco Martin both rolled last year, so it could catch the teams out. The third stage is brand new. It's very deceptive. There's lots of crests and big drops off the edge, so the teams have got an awful lot of work to do. We'll see once those 3 stages have been repeated if Petter Solberg can take his second ever career win for Subaru.
Petter, drivers often make mistakes when they're under pressure like this today. Can you cope with the pressure?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna go quite quick now, and nobody will gain a lot of seconds today, I think. So we're gonna try to keep the same pace.
Phil, you have to spur Petter on this morning, but can you keep him under control?
Absolutely no problem. We just maintained yesterday's pace, and that'll be just fine.
Harry, there must be a bit of pressure on you today to bring the Peugeot 206 back in one piece. What is your plan?
Bring car back today afternoon, and but we try anyway quite hard.
This is what lies ahead. As the crews wait for their start times, we'll take a break and be back with the start of day 3.
Inside the live Saturday 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
Today's action shifts well to the east of Limassol. This opening test descends steeply on a twisty road, which means it's difficult to keep the car on a good clean line. It's also hard on tyres and brakes. At 2/3 distance, the crews take this hairpin junction. Now they start a flat-out section, which will give them a rest from the relentless corners. It does not last for long, as the last part is slow once again, but now with jumps and bumps.
Once again, our expert Nicky Grist making good use of the virtual spectator to show us what's in store. First up, stage 13, Armin Schwartz's Hyundai Accent. With points at stake, driving cautiously will be the order of the day for a lot of teams. That's especially true at Hyundai, where the team hasn't scored a single point since Monte Carlo in January.
Left 4 short minus bump. In double caution, quickly right 3 short minus into left 2 very tight. In right 0 bump.
In the next 10 days, Hyundai is planning to have a major meeting where they hope to finalize a plan for the next 3 years.
Left 4 minus in right 3. Left 3 long tight minus bump into K right 2. Left 4 short minus bump.
Ford's Mikko Hirvonen is the youngest driver in the WRC at 22, but he's getting valuable experience. Cyprus is only his 10th WRC rally.
2. Lyhyt vasen nopea. 6 oikein serpo. Aukeaa.
Right after the Acropolis rally, Mikko completed a 2-day test in Greece for Ford where they worked heavily on cooling. That test apparently paying off for Mikko. Remember, he's running very well here today, but he's using last year's version of the Ford Focus. And if he can hang on for a point-scoring position today, it will be the 21st consecutive point-scoring finish for Ford.
Oikein tosi hidas aukee. 6. Pitkä vasen tosi hidas risteys. 4.
Mikko makes it safely through the day's first stage and holds on to 6th.
Pitkä vasen hidas kirraa pahasti.
Citroen should be more than pleased with their performance at Cyprus. All their cars have made it to day 3. Carlos Sainz won in similar rough conditions in Turkey, but this rally, he's been off the pace. But a 5th place finish is worth fighting for. If Carlos makes it to the end, the points he might gain will close the gap to Richard Burns in the title race. 1 place above Sainz, Colin McRae is also focused on his championship chances.
And left, and 3 right main. And 2 left, and 2 right.
There hasn't been a lot to worry about Sebastian Loeb, Zara. He's outpaced his more experienced teammates so far and spearheads Citroen's Cyprus campaign.
Droite 80 moins longtemps, et gauche 110. On court sur fin pour attention droite 130 moins Milo.
But there's been plenty of heart-stopping moments in Harry Rovanpera's car. He's overcome gearbox problems and an overheating engine to be in this battle for the victory. Harry goes fastest and lays down the challenge to Petter Solberg. The clock on the right shows Rovanpera's time, which is of course Petter's target.
Opens. And 2 left minus, into short hairpin, right tightens, opens, and line into 2 right minus, tighten short, 1 tightens, okay.
Petter's faster, his lead is extended to half a minute. 5 stages to go, and this is how they stand on the leaderboard. Solberg holds off Rovanpera, while Loeb isn't quite comfortable yet in 3rd, but look how this stage played out.
With the help of Virtual Spectator, we can show you the remaining 7 manufacturer cars from the start of stage 13. Immediately, Petter Solberg pulls ahead of the group, determined to win this rally. With Rovanpera now clear of the pack, charging after his fellow Scandinavian. But look how all 3 Citroens are locked together, with Hirvonen and Schwarz just behind. From here, the cars have a relentless series of slow and twisty corners. They then turn hairpin left and then flat out towards the end. As As we rejoin Solberg at the finish of this opening test, we can see Rovanperä, who was only 3.8 seconds behind. But look, there's Loeb and McRae locked together, who are 18 seconds adrift, with Schwarz way in the distance.
Welcome to Rally Cyprus. Citroen team boss Guy Frecklin is off to stage 14 in the helicopter. This is the first time the team has competed in Cyprus and has been a valuable learning experience.
When we do a rally like here for the first time, we need to know exactly what happened with the car, how the car is on the road, and it's very important to give the information to the engineers.
When it comes to development, Carlos Sainz is an invaluable asset to the team. And today, he's on the pace. He's second fastest through Kalaki. Jean-Claude Bocard designed the Peugeot 205 T16 as well as rally race cars for Peugeot and Citroen. The WRC is more of a sprint race than rally race, but that experience has paid off in building the Zara into a strong car. Sebastian Loeb may not have the experience of his teammates, but he's been Citroen star so far in Cyprus.
Frein pour gauche 60. Droite frein pour gauche 60, 80 mètres. Droite 103, ouvre 1. Droite 103, ouvre.
That impact sounds like trouble for Loeb. Sebastian's pretty lucky though. It wasn't a huge impact and the car survives intact. The rocks are the least of Sebastian's worries. The Zara has developed a problem with its electronics and the engine starting to cut out.
Gauche à fond sur droite frein pour 40 mètres, droite 80 moins long tard. Et gauche 80 moins tard.
Harry Rovanperä is having a bit of a dilemma. Does he go flat out and risk making a mistake, or does he go gently to hold on to second place, ensuring Peugeot preserves their manufacturer's championship lead?
Pitkä oikea K+ aukeaa. 107.
Right minus tightens a gap.
No such questions for Petter Solberg.
Into 6 left, short 4 right minus.
He's on the gas, flat out.
Hairpin, double tightens. And line into slippy, 6 right plus, 80. Line into 4 left tightens, minus keep in, slow 20. Line into 1 right plus,
during the
slippy,
Acropolis
maybe.
rally, Petter and Tommy Mäkinen, his teammate, swallowed high-tech transmitter pills given to them by Subaru. This was so that they could get driver core temperatures throughout the rally.
Opens, 6 left plus. 160, crest, 80, crest into slippy, short hairpin left, double tightens. Into slippy, 1 right minus, half long, 20.
To stay cool this weekend, Petter's been storing his driver suit in a freezer back at the service area.
Into 3 right tightens, 2 minus, half long keep in, into slippy, short hairpin left. Open 6, 50. Line into 2 right minus, tightens 1, half long, short hairpin left, double tightens. 60. Slippy braking, line into 2 right minus, tightens slippy.
Anything goes wrong at these speeds, it can be very costly, and rocks in the road are bad news.
1 right plus. Neat 1 left tightens.
Looking at it again, you can see it's a big stone, but Petter has luck on his side, and no damage is done.
1 right plus. Neat 1 left tightens.
It looks as if nothing can slow the Norwegian. Fastest on 2 consecutive stages, Solberg's lead just got bigger. Everybody, though, will be relieved to get back to service.
You lost some time this morning. What was the problem?
It's an electronic problem on the car. The car engine is cutting and the diffs are not working. Normally, we have all the electronic is wrong, so now they have to check what it is and to change, I think, something, and we hope it will go okay for the 3 last stages.
This is the final service, and it's Subaru's last chance to make sure everything's perfect with their leading car. Everyone in the team is desperate for this win. It will be their first of 2003. Even Solberg Jr. can barely stand the tension.
This will be a very important victory for both you and Subaru.
Yeah, it will be very important also for the championship the rest of the year, and plan also a victory in Greece also, but it's too bad. But you know, it's looking good so far anyway.
It's not often Marcus Grönholm is left spectating at a rally, but that's all he can do here. It's up to Harry to bring home the sole remaining Peugeot and valuable points for his team.
You do it every day.
Cyprus Rally is not just about slow and twisty roads, as there are rocks and more rocks. For the drivers, they are an unwanted but expected danger, and the leading cars who are running in reverse order will suffer the most. With the passage of every car, these objects are pulled out of the base of the road, as well as pulled onto the road from the sides. This caused problems for Colin McRae yesterday, when he damaged his Citroën suspension. Look at this rock smack on his racing line. And only this morning, Sebastian Loeb hit trouble. This rally is far from over, and there's more than enough rocks out there for all the remaining crews. For Petter Solberg, this is the roughest stage he's ever driven on. Let's ride on board where you can see for yourself.
One right bus, opens and short fall, left bus, opens 30, turn unseen, tight hairpin left, slippy. 30. 2 right minus of a bump, keep in, into tight 1 left, slippy maybe. And 1 right half long, opens, keep right of a crest, 20. 1 left minus tightens. 1 left minus tightens. And caution, bump into short fall, right, 30, don't cut, narrow shot, 1 right tightens.
That was pretty rough, but you have to remember it's so hot in those cars, it would be like driving in a sauna. Let's see why Sebastian Loeb beat his more experienced gravel expert teammates. Driving as smooth as that, you can see exactly why.
A man's got to take care of the...
In the mountains above the service park in Cyprus, the clouds are moving in. But 3 stages ago, Sebastian Loeb is over 3 minutes behind Harry Rovanperä. So it looks like third is the best he's going to be able to do. Still, a podium finish would be a great result. Rovanperä's worked hard to get here. He's had gearbox and cooling problems that threatened to put him out of the rally early, but he's overcome them, and the finish is now just a few stages away.
3. Lyhyt oikea K sisältä. Pitkä. Elikkä tänne mihin?
Once again, he hits trouble, and once again, it's his transmission. A drive shaft is broken.
Now something's happened. We not hit anything, but something's happened. I don't know, and now his car not going very, very slowly, and some problem in the right rear.
The drive shaft failure has upset the handling of the car, and now he only has 3-wheel drive, which will cost him even more time. The stage is only 11 miles long, but already the problems cost Harry over a minute to load. Unaware of his rival's problems, Petter Solberg is still charging.
Opens, and 2 left minus, into short hairpin, right tightens, opens, and line into 2 right minus, tightens short, 1 tightens.
Once again, he's fastest.
Well done.
On the road section, Harry has a chance to check out the damage. A closer inspection, he finds it's the front left drive shaft that's broken. Co-driver Risto Pitalainen phones rally engineer Emily Lefour for some urgent advice.
The best way, try to take it out, and after you locked only the front wheel, the front diff.
Under Emily's instruction, the driver turns mechanic. Rovanperä removes the broken drive shaft to avoid any further damage. It's an exercise of damage limitation. Despite the repairs, the car won't be 100%. There's a lead in the Manufacturers' Championship at stake. The team are nervous Harry might not hold Loeb off. Heavy rain threatens to add to Rovanperä's woes. After the downpour, the stage is slippery. Three-wheel drive Peugeot is sure to lose even more time.
Vasen nopea 3. Hae oikein K+.
Sebastian's already been through, and as Rovanperä hits the last few feet of the stage, it's clear he's much slower. Almost another minute lost. Harry's slipping into Loeb's clutches. The gap between the two French cars is reduced to just over a minute, and there's only 5.5 competitive miles to the end, but that could be enough for Loeb to snatch second. The last stage of Rally Cyprus is very slow and twisty, which means Harry Rovanperä's problems will make him even slower in here. And Sebastian Loeb's determined to take advantage of it. This is going to be the most agonizing 5.5 miles of Harry Rovanperä's racing life. By the middle of the stage, the Finn's already over 30 seconds down on Loeb. Sebastian, meanwhile, is having a trouble-free run, and it shows on the clocks. Now the Frenchman just has to wait and see what Harry can do. If Rovanperä is going to hold the Frenchman off, he needs to set a time within 9 minutes and 40 seconds. It's an unbelievably determined drive that sees Harry finish with just under a 3-second lead and second place. There's been lots of leaders and 9 retirements, but in the end, a flawless drive from Petter Solberg brings home the victory.
Into caution, don't cut. 3 left tightens. 4 right, opens 50. 1 left, opens and tightens. Flat 6 right, half long of a crest. 60. Short 5 left. Yeah! Oh, what a good weekend.
It's his second career WRC win, and Subaru and Petter are elated.
Yeah! Very good, Petter. Oh.
I was nervous, I tell you. I was nervous. Very good, very good.
At the end of the rally, this is how the survivors finished. Solberg wins over Rovanperä and Loeb. Also in the points, McRae, Sainz, Hirvonen, Schwartz, and the privateer Alistair Ginley. This is how the results affect the championship. Despite his retirement, Burns still leads, but the margin to Sainz is just 1 point. Solberg's promoted to 4th. Due to the high attrition rate of Rally Cyprus, there's little change at the other end. Tommi Mäkinen is the best of the chasing pack. As you can imagine, Petter's return to the service park was that of a hero returning from battle.
Congratulations, Petter. A great drive from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, like we did in Greece, we put it up as a strategy, and I could have worked in Greece, you know, a little bit unlucky with the small things, but here it worked perfect. We didn't have one single problem, and we had, you know, a little bit control actually.
Harry, you must be very relieved to get to the end of this rally.
Yes, I needed good result, and everybody need always good result, and Peso needed 8 points, and I need also, and that is my feeling. That is our normal job.
It's a very good result for all the team because we are third, fourth, and fifth, so that's very good result. Xara are very strong, I think. And yes, for me to be faster than Carlos and Colin was important.
Thanks to Rovanpera's gutsy performance, Peugeot holds on to the lead in the manufacturers' battle, but their great rival Citroën crept in closer.
I'm proud of Ari. I'm proud of him because this guy has always succeeded in bringing us out of terrible situations. And now he brings back the car by 2.8 seconds. So we keep our second place. And as a result, we are turning the half championship, leading the manufacturer classification.
Guy, you must be very pleased with the performance of your car and your drivers on this rally.
Yeah, for sure, I'm very happy because we have a very strong car. We have 3 cars on the start, 3 cars on the finish. It's very important for the points for the manufacturer.
Now the star of the rally is chosen by Nicky Grist. Having survived the most torturous WRC event this year, Harry Rovanpera finished second to keep Peugeot at the top of the manufacturers' battle, but it was all thanks to Emily Lafleur, Harry's engineer, who did a brilliant job to keep the Peugeot on track. Emily gets the award and $5,000 to give to her favorite charity. With more on the weekend, here's Penny and Nicky.
Well, Nicky, we could not have got our predictions more wrong, could we?
It's been an incredible rally, Penny. I've never seen anything like it, quite honestly.
And an amazing drive from Petter Solberg, the winner in Cyprus. And of course, it's his second ever career win. And he did say earlier it was more special a win than it was in GB in November.
Absolutely. It's always nice to win, but I think another point to hang on is that it was the first win for the new Subaru, and the team were absolutely delighted.
But what a tough rally. How many people finished less than 20? I've never seen so few cars finish an event, and there's a privateer in the points.
I know, I feel really happy for that guy. I mean, he's got sponsorship wanted on his back panel. At least he's possibly could get a sponsor. But yeah, it's been a devastating rally. That second day has been the toughest in history, certainly as far as I can remember. And, you know, I think when you look at what Citroën have done, 3 cars, 100% finish rate. It's fabulous.
I know,
what do you think of
it
that?
wiped out the whole of the Skoda team, nearly the whole of the Ford team, and I've never seen so many Peugeots fall by the wayside.
I know, and I've got to hand it to Emile Lafleur, Harry Rovanpera's engineer. She really held it together, and with all the dramas on this last group of stages, she got Harry here to the end. Testimony to her, and she was my star of the rally, by the way.
Good for her. Fantastic to see a lady as a chief engineer as well.
There you go.
Now listen, we've got 7 rallies down, we've got 7 to go. The championship is closing up. Richard Burns still leads, but there's a chance even people like Petter Solberg, Marco Martin have got a chance to take the championship. So we will see you in Germany. We'll see you soon.
Germany is the first true asphalt round of the season, and it should be very interesting since it will be the first time we see the new Focus on tarmac and the first time for the Fabia ever. Once again, Speed brings you all the action from Germany, so be sure to catch it July 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern. Between now and then, you can catch a special edition of Rally XS Tuesday, July 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Here in Limassol, though, you can bet there's going to be a big party tonight. Petter Solberg's a winner again and loving it. And it was a very good weekend overall for Subaru as Toshi Arai won the production car class. That does it for Cyprus. For Penny Mallory, Nicky Grist, I'm Ralph Shaheen saying thanks for watching.